What a moment. That is a bit of Bad Bunny's surprise performance of Preciosa with Latin music legend Marc Anthony. It happened this past Saturday during the final show in Bad Bunny's 31-day Puerto Rico residency, a residency that has reportedly pumped more than $700 million into Puerto Rico's economy, which is a different kind of creative, political, and economic flex from one of the biggest musicians on the planet. My name is Elamin Abdelmahmoud. This is Commotion. Reanna, Cruz is here. Kennya, Rivera is here. They've got a lot to say about this. Hello to both of you.
Hi.
Hi. Your faces are lit up just as you were listening to that, as you're just reflecting on that. It's truly just a delight. Kenny, I'm going to start with you. You went to one of the shows during this residency. Briefly tell me, what was it like?
I mean, it was one of the most amazing shows I've ever been in my life. And I'm Puerto Rican, so people are going to be like, I'm biased. I'm saying that while I have like a Puerto Rican flag in my wall. But it was truly amazing just because on a personal level, I have a lot of friends that are part of his band because I went to the same like music school, which is also a public school over there. And he brought up a lot of like Puerto Rican culture within like the music, the way the stage was built, and it was just everything all in one, what we need to be showcasing as Puerto Ricans. And it was just amazing to be there with like family and friends, and it was out of this world.
Every person who's Puerto Rican who I speak to at this residency is like, you don't understand. This man has carried Puerto Rico on his back during his residency in a way that has like felt really special. And Reanna, to the point that Kennya is making there, about this idea of like the staging of the show. The final show on Saturday was streamed live globally on Amazon Prime. We heard from a little bit from that. Like that clip came from that performance. It is about is like the event ever streamed on that platform. And then the thing that people keep talking about is like the way that it was shot, the way that it was produced, the way that it was sort of like staged. Tell me what stood out for you about what you see with Bad Bunny on stage.
Yeah, I mean, what was really notable to me is the stage design, right? And because he's at El Choli in San Juan for so long, he's able to craft exactly what his vision is. Like, there's no compromise there. And so I also went, and it was lovely because I was in the last row of the venue, but I got like a top-down view of what was happening on the stages. And you have the casita on one side, which is modeled after an actual Puerto Rican house. And then on the other side, you have this beautiful mountain that's mossy and green, and there's multiple levels. So like you have people playing instruments at the top of it, you have people at the bottom, you know, people are coming out from the wings and sitting below trees and stuff. It's really, really gorgeous. And the vision that it takes to craft an experience like that is something that I really have not seen largely in recent memory, especially from a Latin artist.
Bad Bunny truly stepping into his power just in terms of like visually speaking too, right? So like, Kenya, there are a lot of themes that are running through the latest album, and then by extension from Bad Bunny's latest album, also running through this residency. What are those themes that are sort of maybe connecting with you in the work right now?
Well, the themes that are connecting with me throughout this whole show is the way that he honors our African roots, for sure. We have a lot of musical influence from Africa when it comes to like bomba, plena, salsa, and he's very upfront about it. There's like also like a mini docu clip that goes before the salsa segment, where he talks about it a little bit more. And when you grew up in Puerto Rico, we're very aware of that. That is something that we talk about a lot and we're very proud of. But I don't think that outside of Puerto Rico, a lot of people know about that. So the way that he implemented that in there and also through dance, I think that's one of the most impactful topics or like themes that I could say that goes throughout his like whole residency.
So the residency, 31 days in Puerto Rico, a big reason why he did this with no U.S. dates, like no dates anywhere in the United States, was out of fear of the United States immigration officials sort of raiding his shows. Here is Bad Bunny explaining the relationship between his personal politics and his music.
My music sometimes want to cry. My music sometimes want to dance. My music sometimes want to fall in love, and sometimes want to talk about political things, because today I feel that I'm not happy with this situation or whatever. Everything that I say, everything that I do is because I feel it. And it's not because I feel a pressure to say something because I'm a public figure or something. No.
Rihanna, hearing Bad Bunny in that clip, he's talking to the homies over at Popcast. I'm reminded that so many pop artists have a hard time with this. They struggle in terms of balancing their role between like, hey, I'm an entertainer, but also I have personal politics. I have views in the world. But I'm curious how you think Bad Bunny's been kind of handling this act, because I feel like something in him has kind of shifted in the last little while too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a particularly unique pivot. I don't want to say pivot necessarily, but like he's definitely being more forthcoming with his thoughts and in his actions, right? And I think like it's really noble, that comes to mind, and unique, because I think pop stars nowadays are taught not to say anything, right? And they're so media trained that it's like you're not supposed to comment on things larger in the world. But Bad Bunny frequently has talked about Puerto Rican independence. He's talked about colonization. Like he's at the forefront of kind of speaking about these issues, and it's really compelling, and that's part of what makes him such a compelling pop star, because he's willing to speak to what the people want him to speak about, you know, and that's why he connects with so many people.
Kenny, what's your read on this, about the way that Bad Bunny's kind of been balancing this? I'm an entertainer. My job is to make music that's going to move people, but also I have personal politics, and they're going to come into play somewhere here.
I think that it really just comes in the nature of being Puerto Rican. While I was growing in the island, throughout like the public school system, we would go weeks without like electricity. We would have like water problems. So even from a young age, I was very involved in what politics means to me and what I have to know about it. So knowing that Benito's from the same place and growing up and seeing all these injustice, it's just a matter of like, if I'm going to have to keep growing, politics is just something that it's within me. And I feel as it like all Puerto Ricans, we feel the same way. It doesn't matter in what career we chose in. We really feel responsible to the fact that we just have to be there for Puerto Rico and just continue in resistance.
I think there's a lot of artists who don't have that identity within them, like this idea of like, okay, my existence is political, and I'm going to work so hard to make sure that, like, you know, people are not aware of my politics. And so to see Bad Bunny sort of get more and more comfortable saying, no, this has just been a part of me, has always been a part of me, and he's going to come into the music. Of course, he's going to come into the music. Has been heartening, because I think it allows younger artists, smaller artists to also say, let me figure my way through that too, so that I can be more true as an artist. Rihanna, one of the big stories coming out of Bad Bunny's Puerto Rico residency was like the long-term deal that he brokered with Amazon, and what that deal could potentially mean for Puerto Rico locally. Do you want to talk about that deal? Because I feel like that part of the story has not been as publicized.
Yeah, so Amazon partnered with Bad Bunny's foundation, the Good Bunny Foundation, and it's a multi-layered deal in the sense that there's many things going on, right? But one of them is education. He wants to expand STEM across the island, STEM programs, and is giving schools technology to accomplish that. He's also advocating for fresh produce across the island. He's helping farmers. There's also an Amazon storefront situation where Puerto Rican products will be sold and bring more money into the economy. So it's kind of a multifaceted deal that I'm sure Bad Bunny had a lot of say in order to bring a kind of economic boost to the island and the things that matter.
But I will say it still puts him, you know, in pretty close proximity to corporate interests, right? Like that's not necessarily the most comfortable place for an artist like this one to be. Does that strike you as kind of contradictory in any kind of way?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you know, I think of Bad Bunny as like towards the top of ethical pop stars, right? Like people that are actively trying to make a difference with their platform. And yet, like when I saw that the deal was partnered with Amazon, I was like, okay, I don't really know how I feel about this on my island. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's like weird because, you know, he sings about the fears of colonization on the island, right? And this active pursuit of Puerto Rican independence, but also is like getting these corporations with lots of money and perhaps, you know, devious interests to kind of boost the island. But it's like you can't really have that without the money. So it's kind of complicated. You know, it at the end of the day, he is a pop star, is what I will say.
Well, I was gonna say, like, being a pop star, Kenya, like
Yeah.
it is a bold decision for one of the biggest pop stars on the planet to say, "Listen, I'm not gonna play anywhere in the rest of the United States. If you need me, come to Puerto Rico. That's where I'm gonna be for 31 days." Take me back to the moment when this residency was first announced. Like, did that announcement surprise you in any kind of way?
Oh, so I think that it did, but it didn't at the same time. I was hearing rumors about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, if this does happen, this is going to bring a lot of like economical boost for the island.
Yeah.
But when it did happen, it was still like a amazing surprise, just because we know that a lot of the people that I know were going to be involved, and people that I know knew people were going to be involved. So you immediately felt the community and
Mm-hmm.
the happiness of the community of like, oh my God, I gotta get to work. Like, do I have to make more of like the products that I'm selling? Do I have
Mm-hmm.
to check the Airbnbs that I'm like a part of? Or like, do I have to help a neighbor to see like if I can help their business grow a little bit more? Because the influence in tourists was so insane
Mm-hmm.
that everybody just had to come together, and it didn't matter what business or thing you were doing, you were getting a lot from it.
Yeah, of course.
So yes, it was a surprise, and it wasn't at the same time because like there was rumors about it.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a positive impact for
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Kenya, this is happening around the 8-year anniversary of Hurricane Maria, an event that Puerto Rico is, of course, still struggling to recover from. What else are you hoping Puerto Rico might get from all of this attention that Bad Bunny continues to bring to Puerto Rico?
I would say the main thing would be visibility, just because a lot of things happen throughout the island that the United States, and when I say the United States, like I would say like maybe mainland, like doesn't usually get to know about these things. And over here in the US, you don't even know what's happening with your neighbor, and people don't even know what's happening with like the state next to them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're definitely not going to know what's happening in an island that's like separated. So when it comes to what do I want from this residency, is so that people that are visiting can notice the the electrical problems that we have going on, the water problems that we have going on, the insane corruption that's happening in the island, the way that 11-year-olds go to the street to protest whenever they want to defend their school and whenever they want to defend their teachers' salaries. I did that back in like 2008, and like last week there was a protest happening, and it's 2025. And it's things like that. I want people to come and fall in love with the island, fall in love with our people, but also to get in the nitty-gritty of like what is happening in this culture, and in what way can I get involved so I can help them strive a little bit further, and also just to educate themselves and be more united in like what is the United States of America, you know?
Well, Reanna was going to say, like, I think there are people who are encountering the phrase Puerto Rican independence for the first time because of the Bad Bunny residency. What about you? What are you hoping this residency sort of brings in terms of attention to Puerto Rico?
No, I mean, I completely agree. I think like there is an awareness that I think is being actively shifted to Puerto Rico. And I think as an island, it's getting a lot of attention, number one, but also I think influence, right? Like we see already like musically, Bad Bunny is just one of a long lineage of famous and influential musicians to come out of Puerto Rico, right? And I think this attention is going to shepherd more artists to I don't know, fame and heights, and hopefully monetary value, which then will be put back into the island. You know, like I am hopeful that the artist community is lifted collectively by what Bad Bunny is doing, because he's also putting a lot of fellow artists on, so to speak, right? He's helping them out. He's giving them a platform. And I think the economy of art in Puerto Rico is really going to soar.
Well, I'm grateful for both of you for being here to sort of talk me through this. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Elamin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Reanna Cruz is an LA-based music journalist, audio producer, and culture critic. And Kennya Rivera is a content creator. She's also based in Los Angeles. You can catch Bad Bunny as the host of SNL Opener for the season on October 4th.